I rewatched How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the movie from 2000 with Jim Carrey. And after rewatching it, I don't think I can give this movie more than a 5 out of 10. I remember this movie to be pretty good. I remember the middle part of the movie being somewhat boring, but after rewatching it, I don't think this movie is all that great. It's not bad, but it's not a good movie per se. I mean, on paper, The Grinch had everything going for it. We have an iconic Dr. Seuss story, a legendary comedian at his peak, we have Jim Carrey, we have a massive budget, and we have Ron Howard behind the camera. What we got instead was a holiday movie that's equal parts fascinating and frustrating. It's bursting with visual creativity, but buried under layers of chaos and noise, and that is a problem. This version expands a very simple Seuss classic into a full length feature where Jim Carrey's Grinch plots to ruin Christmas for the Who's of Whoville, only to rediscover its true meaning. Unfortunately, the padding shows, and so does the confusion over what kind of movie this even wants to be. Now, like I said, it's not a bad movie, so there are definitely some good things to say about this movie. Now, what works in this movie? Well, obviously, we have Jim Carrey. What is there to say? Carrey is the movie, Carrey is the Grinch, just like Jim Carrey is the mask. His physicality, his elastic face, his manic timing, they are off the charts. It is Jim Carrey after all. He's constantly in motion, he's snarling, he's sneering, and he's fully embodying the Grinch, which is awesome. Even if you hate this film, you can't look away from him. This movie would not have been this movie without Jim Carrey. There's no one who could have portrayed the Grinch in such a good way. So credit to Jim Carrey. And then we have Whoville, the world building. I mean, Whoville is awesome. The sets are lavish, they are detailed, they are very Seussian. The swirling architecture, the candy colored lights, and the snow dusted chaos of Whoville. You know, the snow covered rooftops, it's all a feast for the eyes, and for a moment you can almost believe you are inside the book's pages. You feel like you are in a Christmas snow globe. And that's also for me where a huge critique lies. And I would have liked to spend more time in Whoville. When I watch a Christmas movie, I want to see Christmas on screen. I want more Whoville. Instead, we get the Grinch spending a lot of time in the mountain in his cave. Now, I do understand it is not a Christmas movie with Santa, but it is a Christmas movie with the Grinch. So naturally, we're spending a lot of time with the Grinch. Duh, I get that. But I would have liked to see more of Whoville because it is so nice to see. It pulls you in, it gets you in that holiday spirit, and I think that's where they missed the mark. They didn't do enough with the magic of Whoville. But there's also a hint of heart in this movie. There is some sweetness underneath all the madness. I mean, it is, after all, a very touching story. A few touching moments between the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who, and a whisper of the story's original moral about kindness and acceptance and finding your place in a community. But that is buried beneath all the chaos, which is too bad, I would say. So it's good that they try to put in some touching moments, but it's not heartfelt enough. And that's for me where it stops being good. Now the movie starts to fall apart, and it falls apart very fast. We have Carrie's unrestrained energy. I think Ron Howard clearly told him, go big, go wild, and Carrie went nuclear. I mean, you get Jim Carrey, that's what you get, so that's all good and great, but what starts as funny turns very exhausting very fast. That is absolutely present in the movie, you know. You can feel Jim Carrey and it absolutely feels exhausting. It's 1.5 hour of Jim Carrey going all out. It's much. The constant mugging, the noise smother, any chance at emotional payoff, there isn't any. And then we have tonal confusion, also a problem that I see with a lot of movies, really. Is this movie for children or is this movie for adults? I mean, 1 minute I'm watching slapstick snowball fights, and the next there are jokes about dating and cleavage and a midlife crisis. It's like Dr. Seuss crashed into MTV in the 1999s. But sure, I think this movie is supposed to be a family movie, but the jokes here and there, they feel a little bit out of place. And then another big problem is the bloated story. And I think that's the biggest crime. We're stretching a 25-minute story, we're stretching a book that is like 60 pages long into a 105-minute long feature. It's the same problem that we have with The Hobbit. Even though I like The Hobbit, it is a very short book, but we stretch it out to a trilogy with each movie lasting over 2.5 hours, I think. And that's the same problem we have with Grinch. We get endless filler, we get a clunky childhood backstory that doesn't need to be in the movie. We get subplots that do nothing but slow the movie down. It's not how the Grinch stole Christmas, it's how the Grinch stole runtime and how the Grinch stole my patience. That's what this movie really is. And the pacing is bad. I mean, the first part of the movie, the first act, it's okay, and the last act, fine. But the middle, it really, really drags the movie to the point where the movie actually becomes boring. Who would have guessed? And then another problem I have with this movie that I didn't have with the new Grinch movie. I think the new one is from 2018 or 2022, the animated version. And that is the Who's are extremely annoying. Instead of being warm and fuzzy and sincere and endearing, the Whoville's residents come off as shallow caricatures. They're obsessed with lights and gifts and social climbing. And sure, I get it. The Who's should be doing everything they can with gifts and lights and Christmas and presents, sure. But it feels really, really shallow in this movie. It's really hard to root for the Who's. They're supposed to represent the heart of Christmas. Instead, they feel like a shopping mall mob. And you want to side with the Grinch. I mean, I get where the Grinch is coming from, and it is really hard to root for the Who's. And visually, this movie does look good. I mean, while it is beautiful at first, Whoville quickly becomes sensory overload. The constant zooms, the noise, and the color overload make it feel like Christmas on caffeine. Now, that necessarily is not a big problem, it's more nitpicking, but it is absolutely present. So overall, I would say that Jim Carrey gives it his all, maybe a little bit too much. Amazing makeup, great sets, be it overstuffed and exhausting at moments. Tonally, this movie is confusing and pretty much tone deaf. It's not quite for kids, it's not quite for adults. And the original cartoon told the same story better in half the time. And the saddest part, the movie almost gets you there. The Grinch's heart grows 3 sizes, that moment still lands, but it's buried under so much noise that you barely feel the impact. I mean, I cried during Mufasa's death in The Lion King. Here I almost cried for what could have been. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is an impressive mess, a film that dazzles technically, but it loses its soul somewhere in Snowdrift. I mean, Jim Carrey's performance and makeup work are worth celebrating, but everything else, it's bloated, it's bizarre, it's weirdly cynical for a Christmas movie. Watch it for nostalgia or to marvel at Carrie's energy, but if you want the real spirit of Christmas, stick with the 1966 cartoon. It's tighter, it's truer, and it steals the season. So my final verdict is 5 out of 10. So I hope you enjoyed my review. Let me know what you think of this movie, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.